woven in and smashed alongside the influences and sometimes direct quotations of Beethoven, Brahms, Wagner, Dvorak.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to hear someone's mind working like that.
You know, it's great to see you, and we're thrilled, of course, to have you back for our Masterworks number 2.
Yeah, wasn't expecting to do this one.
What a surprise.
Yeah, but Johannes Frisch is out with an injury, and so I have been called up at late notice, and it's a fascinating program of Beethoven and Ives, so looking forward to it.
It's a tremendous program. The Charles Ives Symphony, probably one that not too many people will know.
Well, I don't think anyone in the orchestra has ever played it before. I'd never heard it before. It's a fantastic piece of music, really interesting. It'll be a discovery. You know, I'll give a spoken introduction before the work to try and contextualize the piece and Charles Ives, who he was, what the hell he's writing about. You know, it's over 100 years old, this music. Wasn't played for 50 years.
50 years, yeah. Well, there wasn't a whole lot of confidence about the work of Charles Ives.
Well, just American music in general.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone was really interested.
Course, yeah.
And then Leonard Bernstein premiered it in 1951, and all of a sudden there was a resurgence of interest in Charles Ives' music. So it's an important work in the history of American music and the history of music generally.
And yeah, still considered to be, I suppose, a fairly recent work.
Yeah, well, it's certainly new, and it's fascinating in that it combines the best of the German kind of tradition of classical music, particularly romantic music, and American tunes of Ives' time around the turn of the century, patriotic songs, the hymns, all of the things that he grew up with in rural Connecticut. He's just sort of woven in and smashed alongside the influences and sometimes direct quotations of Beethoven, Brahms, Wagner, Dvorak.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to hear someone's mind working like that.
Quite provocative, I think. Hey, what do you think of this car?
I love this car, I was going to say. I mean, EV City, they just keep giving us amazing machines to take away.
They do.
It's very trusting.
It is very trusting, and here we are doing this little video and
I know.
thinking, you know, the sound quality of this particular studio, and it happens to be a Tesla on the road.
Not bad. We've got quite a driver too, Hannah. You're doing a sterling
Yeah, she's
job
doing
there.
it. She's doing it still.
Magnificent.
She always does. So the concert this Saturday night.
Yeah.
The Ives, of course, is being paired with the Beethoven Violin Concerto.
Yeah, that's right. And so, you know, they do have that slight commonality of the influence of that German tradition of music on Charles Ives. So that includes Beethoven and particularly his first and fifth symphonies. You hear in the Ives Symphony as well, the quotations.
Quotations, yeah.
But also Beethoven's Violin Concerto, which is one of the, you know, probably top 5 top 5 violin concertos of all time. That wasn't performed much after it was written either for a good 40 years or something. So, you know, they share that in common, is that people weren't ready for either of these works
and of course
when they were
was,
written.
Yeah, it was basically sort of brought into the repertoire by an early kind of celebrity fiddle player.
Yeah, Joseph Joachim.
Yeah.
He was 12 when he premiered this in London with Felix Mendelssohn conducting. And since then, that was in 1844, since then it's been a staple part of the repertoire, and everyone gets to write their own cadenzas normally, or steal someone else's. And so we're lucky we've got Amalia Hall coming in.
What a player.
Yeah, she's amazing, and she's worked with the orchestra as a soloist before, as a concertmaster. She's an icon of New Zealand music, and it's wonderful to welcome her back to the city.
Do you have any, I don't know, particularly favoured elements, if you like, of this program for Saturday night? Anything that really interests you and gets the blood rushing?
Yeah, well, the big parts of the Ives Symphony, I think actually particularly the slow movement, which quotes America the Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a stunningly gorgeous movement, and there are still people out there who think that this is the most beautiful American symphony ever written.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, that I'm looking forward to, but nothing really beats there's two places in the Beethoven Violin Concerto. The beginning, because it just starts with 4 timpani
Isn't it
notes.
extraordinary? Yeah, the repeated
Bomb,
notes
bomb,
again.
bomb.
Yeah.
It's such a bizarre way to start, and no wonder they were confused by it back in the day, because they were like, "What the hell's old Beethoven doing?"
Yeah. Waiting for the violins
Middle-aged
to
Beethoven.
turn up. Yeah, that's right.
It's just incredible. And then the way he develops those 4 notes as the primary thematic interest of that first movement is incredible. The slow movement is stunning, but the finale, the rondo finale, it's just so full of fun, and it's a joyful experience to perform and to listen to.
If you were to sum up the program, this Saturday night's program, in 3 words.
Oh.
I know, we like tough questions here. What might they be?
Oh, what would I say? Discover old, new.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
Because you're discovering old things,
yeah.
you're discovering new things.
Yeah.
You're discovering old things within the new things in case of Ives Symphony. I mean, it's a fascinating program, and one for real music lovers.
And interestingly enough, there will be many tunes, I think, across the program, or parts of tunes that people will recognise.
Oh, definitely. I mean, in the Ives, there's Turkey in the Straw, Graham.
Of course.
America the Beautiful, I've mentioned. There's what else? The hymn tune Columbia, the Gem of the Ocean. Dum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum.
Who could ever forget that?
These are old tunes. But there's a whole bunch of quotations from classical music as well.
Yeah.
So
and then the tunes in the
tunes
Beethoven.
of the Beethoven need no introductions.
It's not too late to get tickets for anyone who hasn't as yet. It's just such a wonderful program this year, the Masterworks program, and of course, as we've already discussed, we managed to slip you in for 1 extra program.
That's right.
So there you go.
All part of the service.
Thinking you'd have a week off. Well, great to have you back again, Ben. We'll see you on Saturday night.
Thank you.